Dear ladies, sometimes we don't need a confession, we don't need proof, we just need to open our eyes. Ladies, if you are in a relationship where something feels off, don't silence your intuition. Your gut is your oldest protector. It's time you listen to it, not suppress it with hope. Because when a man gives your place to someone else, he doesn't always say it, he shows it. And here are 5 signs, 5 loud, painful signs that he's done exactly that. First, his attention is elsewhere even when he's with you. You're talking and he's scrolling. You're crying and he's yawning. You dress up and he barely notices. It's like you've become background noise. Let me tell you, when a man starts giving the world what used to be yours, he's making a choice, and that silence is a louder rejection than words. Second, his phone becomes a locked vault. Passwords, hidden messages, calls he takes in another room. He never used to hide anything, but now his phone might as well be Fort Knox. Love doesn't fear transparency. When secrets multiply, trust dies. When a man becomes guarded overnight, someone else is receiving the honesty that used to be yours. Third, emotional distance becomes his new language. He used to care about your day, about your tears, about your dreams, but now there's a wall, one you didn't build. When a man emotionally checks out, it's because his emotions are now checked in somewhere else. It's not that he can't love, it's that he's choosing not to love you anymore. Fourth, he picks fights to escape guilt. Suddenly, you're always wrong. He accuses you of being insecure, clingy, dramatic. He blames you for things you didn't do. But darling, the problem isn't you, it's that he's trying to find a reason to justify what his heart already did. He starts wars not because you're the enemy, but because he's already surrendered to another battlefield. Fifth, your presence no longer excites him, but absence no longer bothers him. He's not afraid to lose you anymore. And when a man is no longer afraid to lose a woman who stood by him, loved him, healed him, and believed in him, then he already has. Not because you failed, but because he gave your worth to someone unworthy of holding your place. But here's the truth you must remember. Your place, your presence, your love is not replaceable. You are not a filler, not a convenience, not a backup plan. If he gave your place to someone else, don't beg for it back. Don't chase, reclaim your power, because the throne you built beside him. Take it back, build it for yourself. You are the storm he didn't see coming, the peace he will miss, the love he couldn't handle. So let him go, and let you return to yourself. When a man starts treating you like background noise, ignoring your words, your presence, your effort, it means his emotional spotlight has turned elsewhere. Love doesn't forget to see you. If he's not present with you, he's present with someone else in his heart or mind. Transparency is the foundation of intimacy. When his phone becomes a private kingdom filled with hidden messages, deleted chats, and secret calls, he's not just guarding his device, he's guarding the truth. Trust doesn't require hiding. You can sleep in the same bed and still feel 1,000 miles apart. If he's stopped asking how you are, stopped comforting you when you're low, and doesn't celebrate your highs, he's emotionally checked out. And someone else may now be receiving the depth of love you once did. Sudden arguments, criticism, and blame, that's not love, that's guilt in disguise. A man who's betraying you will often turn the mirror on you to avoid facing himself. If everything becomes your fault, know that something deeper is being hidden. When your silence doesn't scare him, your absence doesn't shake him, and your tears don't reach him, he's emotionally detached. The fear of losing someone we love is natural. If that fear is gone, so is the love that kept it alive. You are not replaceable. You are not a second choice. If he gave away your place to someone else, let him leave with that decision. Walk away with your head high. Your love was real. His loyalty wasn't. Rebuild your throne and sit on it alone, stronger, wiser, and whole. When a man begins to shift his attention away from you, it's not just about what he's doing, it's about what he's no longer doing. Attention is one of the purest forms of love. It's how someone tells you without words, "You matter to me, I see you, I hear you, I feel you. So when that attention begins to fade, it doesn't fade in silence, it leaves behind an echo. A deafening quiet that says, "You are no longer my priority," and you feel it, not in dramatic fights or loud arguments, but in subtle, painful ways, like when you speak and he doesn't really listen. When you share something personal and all you get is a nod, a distracted hum, as his eyes stay glued to a screen or wander elsewhere. It used to be different. You remember those days, the way he used to light up when you walked into the room. The way he noticed the smallest changes, your perfume, your mood, the way your eyes sparkled when you were excited. Now you feel invisible, like you're slowly fading into the background of his life. That kind of neglect doesn't happen overnight. It starts small. First, he's too tired to talk. Then he forgets to ask how your day was. Over time, you stop sharing, because what's the point of speaking when no one's truly listening? You find yourself in the same room, yet worlds apart, and the worst part, you start blaming yourself. You wonder if you're asking for too much, if maybe you've changed, if maybe you're just being emotional. But let me tell you something love does not ignore. Real love leans in, it pays attention, it remembers, it shows up. So, when someone you love begins to withdraw their presence, when their eyes don't light up around you, when your voice stops mattering to them, understand this. They may be giving the attention that once belonged to you to someone else. You can feel the difference. It's not just emotional, it's energetic. You start to feel like you're begging for the bare minimum, a reply, a look, a connection, and deep down, your soul begins to ache. Because there's nothing more painful than lying next to someone who's already left you emotionally. He's physically there, yes, but his heart, his mind, his interest, it's already moved on. He might not say it. He might not confess, but his behavior screams it. The way he checks his phone more than he checks on you. The way he zones out when you're speaking your truth. The way he used to cherish time with you and now looks for ways to escape it. That's the cruel irony. Attention is so simple, yet when it's gone, the void it leaves is immense. It makes you question your worth. It makes you doubt your beauty, your strength, your voice. But you must remember, the problem isn't your voice, it's that he's stopped listening. And not because you're not worth listening to, but because he's already chosen to tune in elsewhere. Maybe it's another woman, maybe it's his own selfish world. Either way, he's not showing up. And when someone stops showing up for you, it's not your job to drag them back. It's your sign to show up for yourself, because love without attention is just a hollow promise. And you were never meant to live in someone's shadow. You deserve to be seen fully, deeply, and without conditions. When a man starts guarding his phone like it's a secret chamber, it's not just a change in habit, it's a shift in trust. You notice it first when he turns his screen away every time you walk past. Or when his phone, which once used to lie face up without a password, suddenly has a lock stronger than Fort Knox. It doesn't happen without reason. It happens when honesty begins to feel like a threat to him. When the things he's hiding matter more than the woman he's hiding them from. And that's when you realize he's no longer protecting his privacy. He's protecting someone else's presence in his life. You're not crazy for noticing. You're not paranoid for wondering. You're intuitive. A woman knows when her place has been compromised. She knows when those late night texts aren't just work. When the sudden do not disturb mode isn't about peace, it's about silence. It's about muting the truth, and when you ask, he gets defensive. Why don't you trust me? It's just personal. But you remember the time when nothing between you two was too personal, when you were each other's open books, when he used to hand you his phone with ease because there was nothing to hide. Love back then was transparent, now it's encrypted, and it's not just about the phone, it's the energy, the subtle withdrawal. The way he guards his screen, leaves the room to take calls, or suddenly becomes glued to conversations he refuses to share, you know what it feels like. It feels like being shut out of a world that once belonged to you. Like someone quietly drawing the curtains closed on a relationship that once lived in the sunlight, you start questioning everything. You ask yourself, am I overreacting? But the truth is phones don't build walls unless there's something behind them. And when a man gives someone else access to the attention, time, and honesty that used to be yours, his loyalty isn't divided, it's redirected. He might not call it cheating. He might say he's just talking. But emotionally, he's already investing somewhere else. And you feel it in your bones. You feel it in the way he responds slower, the way he's distracted around you, the way his digital life has become a locked drawer you're no longer allowed to open. But here's what you must understand. Love doesn't hide. Real love doesn't require secrets or codes. Real love is proud. Real love says, here I am nothing to conceal. So when a man starts treating his phone like it's more important than your peace of mind, that's not love. That's deception. And you deserve more than being an afterthought behind a locked screen. The woman who loves deeply should never have to compete with the shadows behind a password. You are not a spy. You are not an interrogator. You are a partner. And if you are made to feel suspicious in a place that once felt safe, then something sacred has already been broken. Not because you doubted him, but because he chose secrecy over connection. And when that happens, it's not your job to break the code, it's your responsibility to protect your heart. Because love without openness is a lie dressed in routine. And you, my dear, were never meant to beg for transparency. You are meant to live in love that has nothing to hide. You can be sitting right next to him and still feel completely alone. That's what emotional absence feels like. It's a slow, painful vanishing. He's there physically. You still see his face, hear his voice, feel his touch, but something has changed. There's a distance between you now, a silent, invisible wall that wasn't there before. And no matter how hard you try to climb it, talk through it, break it down with your love, it stays. Because it wasn't built by you, it was built by his detachment. At first it confuses you. You wonder if he's just tired, stressed, distracted. So you give him space, you give him patience, you give him time. But that space doesn't bring him back. That silence only grows. What used to be easy conversations turn into one-word replies. What used to be deep, emotional intimacy becomes small talk and routines. And somewhere in the middle of all this, you lose the emotional connection that once held you both together. You remember when he used to care about the little things, the way your voice sounded when you were nervous, the way your energy dropped when you were overwhelmed, the way you lit up when talking about your passions. He used to notice, he used to lean in, he used to feel you, and now he barely looks up from his phone. He doesn't ask how you're doing. He doesn't sit with you in silence when you need comfort. He doesn't laugh with you the way he used to. It's like a part of him has gone missing, and he didn't even say goodbye. But emotional withdrawal isn't just absence, it's redirection. That energy, that interest, that emotional presence he once gave you, it's going somewhere else now. Maybe it's another woman. Maybe it's a fantasy, a distraction, or a life he's building without you in mind. Whatever it is, it's not with you anymore. Because when someone starts giving the most tender parts of themselves to another space, you feel it, your soul feels it, and the ache is unbearable. You try to reach out. You ask him softly, what's wrong? And he says, nothing. You try harder, you open up, you get vulnerable, but it's like talking to a wall. His eyes don't hold the warmth they used to. His words feel rehearsed. His touch feels like an obligation, and it hurts more than any breakup ever could, because how do you grieve someone who hasn't left yet, but is already gone? The truth is, emotional intimacy is the core of any real relationship. When that goes missing, everything else begins to fall apart. You start to question your worth. You start to wonder if you're the problem, but you're not. The problem is not that you need too much. The problem is that he stopped showing up in the ways that mattered. He stopped investing, stopped choosing, stopped feeling with you, and that is the greatest betrayal, not the lies, not even the secrets, but the quiet decision to disconnect while still pretending to stay. Emotional absence is not silence, it's abandonment in disguise, and you deserve more than a warm body with a cold heart. You deserve a man who feels you, not one who simply occupies space beside you. Because a woman's heart doesn't ask for perfection, it asks for presence, and when that is gone, the relationship already is too. When a man is no longer afraid to lose you, something inside him has already let go. You'll feel it not in the big, obvious ways, but in the smallest moments that once meant everything. He used to get worried when you were upset. He used to call just to check in. He used to show up emotionally, mentally, and physically because your happiness mattered. Because you mattered, but now your tears don't shake him, your silence doesn't move him, your absence doesn't scare him. That's not strength, that's emotional detachment. That's someone who has already replaced fear with indifference. When a man loves you, the idea of losing you makes him restless. He will fight, he will explain, he will show effort. He may mess up because no man is perfect, but he will care enough to make it right. But when a man gives your place to someone else, his fear of losing you disappears. He becomes calm in the face of your pain. He tells you to stop overreacting. He says you're too emotional. And slowly, he stops trying. He becomes someone who no longer believes your love is worth protecting. And that's the deepest wound, because here you are, still trying, still loving, still holding on while he's already let go emotionally. He might still say, "I love you," but the words don't match the energy, the tone is empty, the actions don't follow. Love is not what a man says, it's what he fights to preserve. It's how he shows up when things get hard. It's the fear in his eyes when he thinks he's losing you. So when there's no fear, no urgency, no effort that tells you more than any confession ever could, at first you try to justify it. You tell yourself he's just tired, busy, under pressure, but deep down you know, love doesn't stop noticing. Love doesn't forget to worry. Love doesn't become careless. When he starts choosing silence over conversation, avoidance over connection, blame over vulnerability, it's not because he can't love. It's because he won't love you the way you deserve anymore. And maybe, just maybe, it's because someone else is now receiving the side of him you used to know. You deserve a love that fears losing you not out of insecurity, but out of value. Out of appreciation for who you are, what you give, and how deeply you feel. If he's no longer afraid to lose you, it's not because you became less. It's because he stopped being enough for the woman you've grown into. You stayed, you showed up, you tried, and now you're left holding the weight of a love that has gone cold. But here's the truth. The moment he stopped fearing your absence, he made space for your freedom. Freedom to walk away, freedom to rebuild, freedom to love yourself harder than he ever did. If he can live without you, let him taste the silence he once ignored. Let him feel the emptiness where your warmth used to be. Because a woman who is no longer cherished will eventually learn to cherish herself, and that kind of strength, that's the kind he'll never be able to replace. You were never meant to beg for your place in someone's life. Love isn't supposed to be a battle where you fight to be seen, heard, or chosen. When a man gives your place to someone else, whether emotionally, physically, or mentally, that's not just betrayal, it's a declaration. It's him saying, without saying, that he no longer values what you brought into his world. And in that moment, you have two choices: break down trying to win back what was once yours, or rise and reclaim yourself. We as women are raised to nurture, to fix, to hold everything together. So when someone begins to slip away, we don't give up easily. We try harder, we become softer, we start making excuses. Maybe it's just a phase. Maybe he's confused. Maybe he needs more love, more space, more time. And in trying to save him, we start losing ourselves. We lose our joy, our sleep, our confidence piece by piece, hoping our effort can make him remember who we were to him. But the truth is, if a man can look at your loyalty, your love, your sacrifices, and still hand your place to someone else, that is not confusion, that is clarity. That is a man showing you exactly how replaceable he believes you are. And instead of fighting to change his mind, it's time to change your direction. Because your worth was never tied to how he treated you, it's rooted in how you choose to treat yourself. It is not your job to prove you're enough. You already were the moment you gave your time, your energy, your love without limits. What he chose to do with that gift is a reflection of him, not you. If he didn't cherish it, that's his loss, not your shame. Letting go of someone who gave your place away isn't weakness. It's the highest form of self-respect. It's saying, I refuse to compete for a position that was already mine. I refuse to chase what should have stood still for me. I refuse to beg a man to remember the woman who stood beside him when no one else did. That kind of power. That's what sets you free. You don't need to scream. You don't need to post quotes online or plot revenge. Your silence, your glow up, your peace, that's the closure. You walk away not because you stopped loving him, but because you finally started loving yourself more. You take your dignity and rebuild your throne, because the truth is, a queen doesn't beg for her crown, she simply walks away when her kingdom forgets her worth, and trust this, the day will come when he looks back. When he realizes that what he gave away cannot be replaced, that no other woman will give him the depth, the loyalty, the soul you brought into his life, but by then it will be too late. You will have moved on, grown, healed. And that version of you, the one who rose from betrayal and built her own kingdom, will be untouchable. So don't chase, don't explain, don't break, reclaim, restore, remember who the hell you are. Because your place in this world is not beside a man who couldn't see you. It's in a life where your presence is honored, not replaced.